And a big thank you to colleagues from the University of Leeds, part of the Decarbonate Network Plus, for organising this event with support from the Office for Science in my department. And thanks, of course, to the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, who decided in 2018 to invest £5 million in transport decarbonisation research in recognition of the priority, depth and complexity of the challenges that we are facing. The decarbonisation of domestic transport requires not just a complete turnover of the car fleet, but also fundamental strengthening of the electricity grid at every level, and the construction of hydrogen infrastructure from scratch, alongside profound changes in behaviour. These behaviour changes entail both adapting to new technologies, but also making the right choices so that we get better and more equitable health, social and economic outcomes. This will look very different in different parts of the country, but we know that it needs to happen everywhere. And that means that it's vital that we try and understand and meet these challenges head on, and that we do so as soon as possible. Since the Network Pluses started work last autumn, the world has changed immeasurably. Coronavirus has altered so many different aspects of our lives, not least how we travel and where we travel. Now, as we adapt to this new world, we must take urgent action to prevent further spikes of the virus, and we have to help our economy get back on its feet and build back faster, greener and better. And underpinning all of that is transport. It's what connects people to opportunity, to prosperity and to each other. And that is where you all come in, the researchers, the decision makers and the innovators represented here today. Because if we are going to build a transport system that allows this country to flourish in future, we need all of your ideas, your energy and your passion. So I'm immensely proud of the excellent research base we have here in the UK. And if we're going to make the most of the opportunities that leaving the EU can offer us, the opportunities of emerging technology-driven markets in transport, the opportunities that are arising in green and smart transport, we need the thinkers, the scientists and the engineers, the people like you. I spent most of my career running a business, and I know from that experience that government departments can feel like large, faceless monoliths, impenetrable from the outside. And that's why I think that initiatives like this are so exciting, because they are a chance to break down some of those barriers that people sometimes experience when they try to engage with government. And it's a benefit to civil servants who can also find the academic world, let's face it, slightly daunting. And I think it's like any arena of life, when you try to break down those barriers, the first step is to get people together, to start a dialogue and just start that talking process so that we can all learn from each other. And I very much hope that enduring relationships can be built from today, as I know they already have been. And these relationships can only help the Department for Transport make better decisions as we consider those challenges. So on the decarbonisation agenda, we have become the first major country to set ourselves a legally binding target to reach net zero emissions by 2050. And to do that, transport needs to become part of the solution, not part of the problem. Every aspect of transport will be involved. We need to account for every unit of energy and understand how and where it was generated. Issues like carbon intensity, land use and sustainability will increasingly dominate decision making, not just the price at the pump. And that's why I'm really excited that we are publishing our transport decarbonisation plan in the next few months. It's a comprehensive blueprint for the future. It will set out in detail the steps that we will take to decarbonise transport and play our part in achieving net zero. I'm honoured to be serving the country at this time. A perfect storm was mentioned, but I'm up for that. The Committee on Climate Change tells us that many of the biggest decisions, those with the highest costs and potential rewards, will need to happen around 2030. And that gives us 20 years to build a whole new generation of infrastructure, win hearts and minds and roll out technology at the required scale right across the country. Now is the time to gather the evidence and get our strategy in order, which is precisely what our transport decarbonisation plan is all about, and what today's all about too. So let me leave you with this thought. At the start of my remarks, I talked about how your work will help this country to succeed in future. And our success, I know, will depend on our ability to export transport innovation. We all know that's something that Britain's been doing for a long time, whether maritime, railway or aviation. We've been a global leader in transport for centuries. And we have to think globally again to be ambitious for the future. The primary research that you are doing will become the technology of tomorrow. And I feel certain that the ideas that we discuss here today will influence that process. Not just improving transport, but improving outcomes for people's lives, spreading prosperity, protecting vulnerable environments and building a better world. So thank you.